Tuesday, December 29th. It's week 17 in the NFL. Went by way too fast. Got a lot of games to talk about, a lot of playoff implications coming up this week. For G&T Sports Talk, I'm Bobby Thompson.
I'm Julian Gallardi. And I think, honestly, this week, a lot of stuff off the field has been more interesting. There's been a lot of headlines that have caught my eye, such as the quarterback situation in Miami, Justin Herbert also declaring that he will not go to the draft, so that makes the quarterback class thinner. That could be problematic. We're going to play a little bit of quarterback musical chairs in a minute. So, Bobby, what are you hearing about Ryan Tannehill? What are the Dolphins' plans at the end of the season?
So, rumor has it is that the Miami Dolphins have decided that they are going to move on from quarterback Ryan Tannehill at the conclusion of the season, which is tomorrow's game, after tomorrow's game against the Buffalo Bills. So, in my personal opinion, hearing this, I think it should have came sooner. I think this guy is just, I'll tell you what he is. He's a former wide receiver playing quarterback. And was he serviceable? Yes, he was. But is he going to bring it to the promised land? Absolutely not. He is too inconsistent. He throws too many interceptions. He turns the ball over way too much. I've seen some flashes. He was definitely not worth a first-round pick by the Dolphins. That was a huge mistake. Now, what do? They either have to go out and sign a quarterback. In my opinion, they should be in the market for Teddy Bridgewater and Nick Foles, or they're going to have to draft one. So, in my opinion, this was a long time coming, and applaud the Dolphins for this. Long time coming.
Yeah, well, I'm going to back up some stuff that Bobby said. So Tannehill's been playing decent, but that's the thing. It's never better than decent. Like, I feel like I always say it's decent with Tannehill. Like, it's never above average. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's not horrible. Like, he'll win you games, and they actually have won a lot when he starts, but overall, he's not that guy that's going to bring you where you need to be. I'm pretty sure we both agree with that.
Absolutely. We both our teams see him twice a year.
We're in the AFC East, so I think we both know.
We see the Dolphins and him twice a year, and what does he do? He flashes some greatness, but then there's times where he's
next week
he's horrendous.
Yeah,
and he needs to go. The Dolphins need to move on from him.
So he's 17 touchdowns, 7 picks, 99 quarterback rating, which is, again, fine numbers, but not taking anyone's socks off, really, obviously. Although he's missed some time. In his career, he has just over 20,000 yards, has 123 touchdowns and 73 picks. Quarterback rating under 90, which is obviously very mediocre, as we've been stating.
Yeah.
He's shown over a period of time that he's mediocre, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, the Dolphins are always in that 7-9 win range because of him. Like, he can, like we said, he can win games, but it's never enough. He's never won a playoff game, and it doesn't look like he will anytime soon. Do you think another team will actually hand the keys to their franchise to Tannehill in this offseason?
I think that if any team does that, they need to get drug tested.
But,
But look, listen, if there's somebody who gets hurt, and maybe they need a backup,
I think he'd be one of the better backups to find, probably.
He'll be a great backup, but I don't think you give him the keys to the franchise. He's not taking you to a Super Bowl, and he's definitely not winning you a Super Bowl.
Well, more realistically, I could see him getting a chance to compete for a job, maybe, because there are a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, and this draft class is very thin, and the options on the free agent market are pretty thin, too. So he might resurface with someone else, but it might not be in a prominent role. I guess we'll see.
We'll see what happens with that, but like we both said, he's not going to start anywhere unless there's a drastic injury, in my opinion. And honestly, don't be surprised, Jules, if when they let him go, because he's owed $19 million over the next 2 years.
It makes all the sense in the world to cut bait now.
It saves them a lot of money. It saves them $9.5 million on the cap. So that's more money to sign talent and make sure they get better, especially on the offensive side, since the wide receiver position is just depleted.
Okay, so we're going to do some quarterback musical chairs in a bit. So we're going to actually talk about Teddy in a little while, but let's get to this Dolphins game really quick. This is on the snooze segment. It's boring. No one cares about it.
Absolutely not.
Bills are a 5.5-point favorite at home, and honestly, it's tough to pick the spreads at this point because these games are really boring, and I don't even know who's fully playing. What's up with the injuries? Do you have any news on this game that anyone should take notice on?
Well, from what I'm hearing right now is that Danny Amendola, their wide receiver, was questionable.
Shocking. I can't believe it. Right? Another game for Amendola. So he's actually hurt again.
So
wow.
What I'm hearing is there's not really that many big-time injuries for this game, but I will give you this. D tackle Kyle Williams has decided to call it a career.
That I did see, actually. That is worth noting.
So the one thing I will say on a brilliant career by him, he's a very underrated defensive tackle, very
hats
dominant.
Off to Kyle Williams,
hats off to him. But I will give you this. This game is, you want to talk about snooze fest?
This might be at the top of the list, right?
So I'm going to give you some stats right here. The Bills are averaging 15.1 points per game. They're fewest in a season since 1985.
Jeez.
When they averaged just 12.5 points per game. In 1985, the Bills went 2-14 under head coach Hank Bullock, and Jim Kelly joined the team following the season.
Well, that worked out all right for them after the season.
So let's get into more about Ryan Tannehill.
Go ahead.
Ryan Tannehill is averaging a career low 183.2 passing yards per game this season, yet is on pace on his career high in passer rating, at 99. So, it's up and down for him. But the Dolphins, they do have success against the AFC East. You've seen it. I saw it firsthand. Yeah. The Dolphins are 4-1 against the AFC East this season and are 3-7 against opponents outside their division. So this is something to look for. This is something to keep an eye on. And we'll talk about Josh Allen. Josh Allen has the third most passing yards, 1,850 among Bills rookies in team history entering games. So, with all this being said, I'll keep this short and sweet. Who's going to win this game? I'm going to go with the Bills on this one, honestly. I'm going Bills all day, and I think you're going to see Ryan Tannehill. He's going to struggle. I think the defense of the Bills is a little bit mediocre, but you saw they could make plays last week against New England. They picked off Brady twice.
Well, okay.
I think that Ryan Tannehill is going to really struggle tomorrow.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to say something here. We have done our picks throughout the season, and Bobby's compiled a 68-42 record, which is 4 games better than me. I'm 64-46. My spread picks are 58.
I'm the lead dog.
Yeah, he's got me right now. My spread picks are 58-49 too, so I'm hitting around 53%. So take those with a grain of salt. A little bit profitable, I guess. But anyway, I'm just gonna go Dolphins to be different. Okay. So I'm gonna try to catch up these games. So some of my picks will be a little out there.
I'm going with the kid, Josh Allen. Okay. I like what he saw last week. Even I will say this: he throws a lot of interceptions.
Yeah, hopefully the Dolphins can get some turnovers. I guess
he could sling it. I'll tell you that. So I'm
go Fins tomorrow.
I go Bills Mafia. He goes Dolphins. So
all right.
We'll see what happens.
So now we got a little more exciting action, although our team's out of it, obviously. But Jets, Patriots, we're about 2 touchdown underdog in this one. Obviously, we're playing for a draft pick, playing hopefully the last game under Todd Bowles, Lord willing. Tomorrow, Monday, he better be fired, say Saturday. So 2 days from now, I want to get a nice alert on my phone that he's fired. And I want us to pursue Jim Harbaugh. This is where I'm going to go on my Jim Harbaugh rant. Harbaugh was 44-19 with the 49ers. He led the team to the playoffs 3 out of 4 seasons. Of course, they made it to the Super Bowl. He turns around Alex Smith, revived his career. He also did well with Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick was never the same once Harbaugh left. That was part of his demise, in my opinion. And I think he can win at the NFL level, and I'd like to see him work with Sam Darnold. I think he could do great in New York.
Well, yeah, I think, Jim Harbaugh, he's a quarterback guru. You saw what he did when he was in San Francisco. You saw what he did with Alex Smith, and then with a certain guy, Colin Kaepernick. Yeah, you saw what he could do with him. But you see at Michigan, you saw he grooms the quarterbacks. We don't really hear about him because there's no big names. But I will tell you this: if you put him with Sam Darnold, and I'm going to tell you, Sam Darnold has so much potential, and in the past 2 games, I'll tell you right now, in the past 2 games, Sam Darnold is averaging 297 passing yards per game. Darnold, and has 5 touchdowns, has not turned the ball over in those 2 games, and you've seen the success. Even though they are 0-2, they've been successful. He's done well. A completion percentage of 65.9 nice. And a quarterback rating of 114.2 in the past 2 weeks. So he's riding high these past 2 weeks. So I'll go back into the head coach. We all know this. Todd Bowles is going to be out tomorrow, no matter what the outcome is. Woo-hoo! So he's out. So who are the candidates for the Jets? Well, we heard about Mike McCarthy. He's linked to the Bucs. He's linked to where else?
Cardinals.
Arizona.
That's what I've seen so far. He's still in it for us,
Yeah,
I feel like, too. But
so we'll
who knows? It's really early in the process.
I think the Jets, what they're trying to do is they're trying to find a young guy. I mean,
offensive-minded guy.
Offensive-minded. Jim Harbaugh's not really that young, but he's offensive-minded.
He still works for me, though.
But here's a sleeper right here. Here's a sleeper.
Who do you have for me?
There's a coach in college of Iowa State. His name is Matt Campbell.
They just won last night, too.
Yeah, and the Jets really, really like him. And he's offensive-minded, so can they maybe bring him over? We'll see.
Yeah, I actually saw Manish, he's a New York Post writer. He also pointed out Matt Campbell and how he would be a good hire for us. I don't know much about him yet, but we'll see what ends up happening with that. And it's Iowa State, so I haven't really tracked the college that much, obviously. But I think maybe it'll work out. Honestly, my lead in the clubhouse is Harbaugh, though. Even though they got waxed by Florida today, didn't look too good. Maybe they're hearing the noise. Maybe he's coming. I hope so.
We'll see what happens, but we'll go back to
we can get back into this game. I'm a little sidetracked because my season's been over for a while.
Yeah, so back to this game. The New England Patriots are 10-5.
Yeah,
and
we're not.
Last week, quarterback Tom Brady did not look well. He did not play well against the Buffalo Bills. He looked a little off. He threw 2 interceptions, but they got the job done. The defense turned the ball over for them, and that's what's going to happen. So the Patriots, I will tell you this: they are a home team. They don't lose.
Yeah,
at home.
you guys have looked well at home.
The Patriots are 141-29 with a win percentage of .829 in the Tom Brady era. That's since 2001, including the playoffs, its regular season, and the playoffs, and that's first in the NFL. The fact that in 17, 18 years that you've lost only 29 games at home, that's tremendous.
He's been killing it.
Yep. So I'm going to talk about this right now. What's going to make the Patriots successful in this game?
Give us your case on your side.
Let's talk about the last time they played a month ago. What did the Patriots do to beat the Jets?
You guys
ran the football.
Yeah.
There were holes the size of the Lincoln Tunnel where I was sitting, and Sony Michel.
Oh my God.
Sony Michel was tremendous.
You're not wrong though. That's the thing.
Rookie running back Sony Michel has been nothing short of spectacular for them this year. I'm very high on this guy, and you saw what he could do. He's averaged 73.4 rushing yards per game this season. That's the second most by a Patriots rookie in franchise history since. Give me a hint.
Let's see, Deion Lewis?
No. Since Hall of Famer Curtis Martin.
Why didn't I think of Curtis? Because I associate him with the Jets.
So right now, I will give you a stat on Sony Michel. Sony Michel right now, he leads the Patriots in rushing, of course. In 195 rushing attempts, he has 881 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns.
He's been killing it.
So he needs 119 yards for 1,000. And do I think it's possible? Absolutely. Because the Patriots, when the Patriots are home... And when the Patriots are home, they run the ball extremely well.
Yeah.
So that's a big success. And also with James White. You could throw a little James White in there who has 395 rushing yards. He has 5 rushing TDs. So it's a little bit balanced over there. And also you throw Cordell Patterson in there, see what happens. But with this game, Tom Brady is going to bounce back. The passing game is going to bounce back. You saw last week they really didn't do well. Other than Julian Edelman,
thank God,
they really didn't do well. Listen, there is no Josh Gordon no more. We all know this. The Jets. Let's talk. I'm going to talk about the Jets right now real fast. You want to talk about this injury report? I could say right now for the Patriots right now, there's one person who was declared out. That's tight end Jacob Hollister, who has been nothing but a practice squad.
I don't think that means much at all.
No, nothing at all. But for the Jets, Mo Claiborne, their second corner, he's out.
That's big.
Quincy Enuwa, and we'll get into him in a second. I'll get into that in a second. Quincy Enuwa, he's out for the second straight game. Jermaine Kearse, he's out.
Right.
Jordan Jenkins, the linebacker, he's doubtful. So what's up with this defense?
Obviously, Crow's out for the year.
So
but
we will say. Done. So we will say this. I will say this, Jules. Mm-hmm. That's not good to. If you're a Jets fan, that's not good to see. And obviously, you guys are playing for a draft pick. Patriots,
or pride. It depends how much we even care tomorrow.
So tomorrow, I expect Tom Brady to pick on that cornerback who's going to take Mo Claiborne's place, and especially since your $72 million man, Tremaine Johnson has been nothing but a bust.
He's probably going to get roasted tomorrow. I mean, he's going to be bad most likely.
So we'll see what happens, but I'm going to give you my prediction right now. I think the Patriots win handily. I'm going to go 31. I'm going to give you guys 17. I think Sam Darnold does look well. I think he throws a touchdown. But who's he going to throw to? Robbie Anderson and Chris
Robbie
Herndon. That's
Herndon.
it. And
What's up, boys?
Chris Herndon has been nothing but a problem for defenses this year. He's extremely underrated. I like what I see from the kid. Nobody thought he would be anything. He's come to the Jets and he's looked very, very well. So I will give you this. Patriots win. They're going to go 11-5. Now they got a lot riding on this because there's a chance for them to get the number 1 seed, but they need the Chiefs to lose and they need the Chargers to lose. So, but to get on this, Jules, would you like to give us some news about your boy Quincy Enuwa?
Yeah,
looks like he's not going anywhere, is he?
I'll take this one. So, yesterday, 2 days ago at this point, it was announced that Jets would re-sign Enuwa for 4 years and $36 million. I was hype about this. I think it's a great move. I understand the risk with the injuries. On the season, he has 38 catches, like 450 yards and 1 touchdown. He's played around 10 games. But I do like the rapport with Sam Darnold when he's healthy. I like the way he could be using the offense. He moves the ball forward. He's always getting positive yardage. He makes the big play once in a while. He has the ability. We've seen it before. In his career, he has just 5 touchdowns, but he's only played around 4 seasons. One of them he missed completely, but he's been in the league for 4 years. Has 118 catches and just over 1,600 yards. So there's room to grow for him. I like this contract. I also think that Robbie Anderson should be brought back. He's restricted this year, so maybe next year they'll rework his deal. We'll have to see. And Bobby's right. Herndon, Anderson, Eli, those are the 3 skill position guys. If you're still playing fantasy, God bless you. Most leagues are over, but we'll see if anyone is doing that. I know some leagues still go, but also Sam Darnold's been playing well. We'll see if he can continue. This is his biggest test. But Bobby's right. Patriots win, but I'll say Jets cover. I say we lose by around 10 or 7. Let's say we put up 20. You guys do 27. I'll say it's a little closer than people think. But we won't win it, I don't think. Because you guys are playing for a seed and we're playing for pride. So I don't think we'll push over that hump, especially on the road.
Well, the Patriots are treating this game like a playoff game, so you're going to see them coming out.
Yeah, that's an issue
and
for us.
I'm going to say
that's an issue.
Julian, I will tell you this right now. For that limited receiving core, watch out for a guy named J.C. Jackson. J.C. Jackson.
Wow.
He's an undrafted rookie corner, and he has been nothing short of spectacular for the New England Patriots out of, I think he went to Maryland, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. He is very, very good. He's a ball hawk. You saw how he covered Juju. He did a very good job against Juju a few weeks ago. So I think that, well, of course, we all know who's going to cover Robbie. It's going to be Steph Gilmore, who's been nothing short of spectacular.
Right.
In my opinion, he's a top 5 corner in the NFL. And Patriots win. That's that. We'll move on.
Yeah, I think he's right, too, with the running backs. I'll say this quick. I think there's a big day for Michelle. It's a big James White day. Julian Edelman, those are the big 3 I would look for. Obviously, Tom Brady, if you have him still.
Maybe Gronk gets a catch in. He didn't have a catch at all last week. Maybe.
I don't know what's up with Gronk. That's why I'm staying away. He saves me in my leagues, though, because he got put up a 0 when I was versing him twice, so that was huge.
Yeah,
Thanks, Gronk.
We'll see what happens.
All right, so here we go. The next game is on the snooze fest, but there is one thing about it. We got the Bucs and the Falcons. Now, you know.
You're gonna. Oh, he's bringing out the Julio. Oh boy.
Yeah. So, what's up, Jets to Falcons? Jet Jones, what's good? Here's what all you gotta know about this game, baby. Jet Jones is playing through injuries like always. He's battling to get that top receiving mark with the yardage again. He is currently at 1539, I believe, and DeAndre Hopkins is 114 behind him, and that is who he's chasing off. So Jet Jones, go get that yardage for the season. Show him why you're still the best wideout in the league, and yes, I said it.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you. I think Julio Jones is just a physical specimen. We say it all the time, and you know what? I think that this year they finally found a way to get him in the end zone.
Yes, he started scoring more, which is cool.
You see him every year. It's just consistency.
I love it.
He gets it. He averages over, what's he average, 1,300 or 1,400 yards a year?
Yeah, he's always well over 1,300, it seems like. He's gotten the yardage title before, too. He had over 1,800 once.
Julio Jones is the definition of consistent. I think you want to be like him. And like I said, Julio Jones has notched his 5th season with 1,400 plus receiving yards.
There we go.
Second in NFL history behind the GOAT, Jerry Rice, who has 6.
That's a nice comparison. People do compare those two. And I didn't see Jerry Rice play, but I like the business-like mentality they both share. It was never about them. They always work hard. They always give the ball right to the ref. They're always grinding, and they just put up numbers no matter what. I mean, Julio's not Jerry. I'm not saying he's Jerry.
And he's not trying to be Jerry. He's just doing his...
He's going to be one of the best receivers ever played by the time it's all said and done, though.
I agree.
That's definitely
100%.
true. Maybe even top 5 at the rate he's going.
Yeah.
We'll see how he finishes up.
Yes.
I mean, hopefully the injuries, he stays healthy, gets
he
a little healthier
overcomes
this
these
year.
injuries.
Yeah, I'd like to see him play on a fresh slate with just no injury issues, but maybe he'll get that chance next year.
Yeah.
So I'll say it's a Falcons day. Give him one last chance. Dirty Bird's going to get that 7th dub against the Bucs tomorrow. Why not? Go get that record, Julio.
I agree. It's gonna be the Falcons. Listen, this Buccaneers team is just it's horrendous, and Dirk Cutter, the head coach, he's about to get fired, and mistake prone. It says on here, Jameis Winston starting quarterback.
That's putting it mildly. Yeah. That's another good question.
You know,
speaking of the quarterback carousel, do you think Jameis is on his way out, or the Bucs looking for someone new?
You know what? The thing is, they're
in flux too, because there's the thing with Derek Cutter. You know how closely they're tied, and you saw that we talked about McCarthy. The Bucs kind of seem to be in turmoil, like always. How do you see this getting resolved with, I guess, the coach and the quarterback?
Well, I think that between the two, who are they going to get rid of? They're going to get rid of Dirk Cutter. He hasn't been successful. He hasn't brought wins. He hasn't been competitive.
Well, he's the first one to go, I would assume, unless they go together.
So I
don't think Cutter will see next year.
I think they're going to give this kid one more year and to get his act together.
Okay.
But Jameis Winston is the only player to average more interceptions per game and giveaways per game than Jameis Winston. Than his teammate Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh my God, the Bucs just turn it over too much. There was that one game they had over 500 yards and 3 points because they had 1 million turnovers and missed field goals. And that's like typical Bucs football right there. That was like the epitome of their season.
I mean, it's a shame because
they have talent and they move the ball, but they just can't get out of their own way. Like, you know the receivers, you know Mike Evans, you know O.J. Howard before he went down. Godwin and Humphreys aren't bad. Jackson's D's good still. That's somewhat good. Not the same, but he's still relevant.
I can tell you right now, Deshaun Jackson will not be there next year.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
We can report right now that he wants to go back to Philly.
Ooh, he wants to go with the Birds.
Yes, he wants to go back to Philly, and I could see this being a perfect fit, especially him and Alshon Jeffrey. That's scary.
Yeah, I can see it too. I mean, they dumped Mike Wallace. Yeah, that's nothing, obviously. No, I think Jackson could be like their 3 or 4, and Tate won't be back either, probably.
Golden Tate's is gonna get paid elsewhere. And listen,
maybe Jets, honestly. We need receivers.
We'll see what happens. I could see him going to New England, to be quite honest with you.
Oh, God damn it. You need someone too now because of Josh.
But
all right, let's see what else is on this slate. Okay, so we have the Lions and the Packers. That's a snoozer.
I'm gonna keep.
Can you wake me up?
Yeah. Have some water.
Oh, man.
Have some water.
I'm passing out, man.
All
that
right.
game's so boring. Holy crap! You're talking about 2 irrelevant teams.
I'm gonna go in on this one, Jules, to start. I'm not gonna. And listen, these two teams. You think the Packers? You think Aaron Rodgers? You think that they could be a playoff team every year? Not this year. You saw just how bad they really are. Their defense is young. They got some potential. However, that potential has not shown lately.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers, when you have only one guy to throw to, Devontae Adams, who's having a career year.
Yeah, Adams has been killing it, of course.
And this is his 5th NFL season, and he has career highs in receptions and receiving yards and touchdowns. So he has become a prominent wide receiver. I would say that
this is definitely a breakout campaign for Devontae Adams. He's been one of the good stories of Green Bay. There hasn't been many. I would say him and Aaron Jones have been pleasant surprises. But other than those two, it hasn't been too much good stuff.
So the Packers this year, they're going to finish with a second consecutive
They'll
losing
be looking for a new head coach,
for the first
obviously.
Time, of course, for the first time since 1990 to 91, and that was before Brett Favre.
And before we were born. How about that?
Exactly, yeah. But listen, when you think of the Packers, you think of Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers ranks 3rd in the NFL history in single season touchdown to interception ratio, 25-2. That's amazing.
Still does, yeah. I mean, he's not the issue. He kills us last week, obviously.
What's going to happen with this game? I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Packers are going to win. Why? Because the Lions' offense has failed to score 20-plus points in 5 straight games. The NFL's longest acting streak and longest by the Lions since Stafford was drafted in 2009. That's why they're going to lose.
Yeah.
I think that Matt Patricia They thought they'd bring him in, make that defense stellar. I think he's done nothing but make this team worse. I think that don't be surprised if he gets next year, if they start 0-3, 1-3, 1-4, he could get fired. And I'm going to tell you, it's those Bill Belichick coaches that don't do well.
Yeah, his coaching tree hasn't been too successful. I think you would know better than me.
I would.
McDaniel struggled too, although maybe he'll be revived later on.
I don't think McDaniels is going anywhere this year.
I was just talking about.
That's
I wasn't insinuating that. I was just talking about the track record of the coaches that come from Belichick. It definitely hasn't been fantastic.
Yeah,
listen, Mangini was mediocre too.
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it short and sweet for you, Packers.
Yeah, I think I'll agree. I got to take some shots, but I won't take this one. I'll take Packers too with Rodgers. They got the best players. So when you have bad teams, you look for the best player.
Yep, that's it.
So let's see another game here. Panthers and Saints. So this is a little bit interesting because of some news with Bridgewater. So what's up with Bridgewater? He's going to be a hot commodity. What's going on?
So the Saints, they clinched first round bye. Yes. They clinched home field advantage.
You won't see Kamara. You won't see Thomas. You won't see Breeze. You probably won't see any starter, basically.
Listen.
That's why this is like almost a snooze, but Bridgewater brings us some life.
Listen, this game, Drew Brees is out. Kamara, Ingram, all of them are out. So, who's going to start? Teddy Bridgewater. And this game, this is an audition for him because he's a free agent after this year. And if he does well, and I think he will do well, especially against this Panthers team that's just completely depleted and they don't have Cam Newton. Yeah. So I think he's going to do well. He's going to be a top quarterback free agent. There's going to be teams that are going to pay him some very good money. For sure. And you know what he could do. You know how dominant he could be. So,
but I have another theory about this.
What's this?
Okay, so Saints are a 7-point favorite. You know what? Take them. I think Bridgewater's going to run it up. I think you're going to see him look very good. And this could be a part of the future because I'm going to predict something here. If the Saints win the Super Bowl, you won't see Drew Brees again. You may not see Sean Payton. And I think you'll see Bridgewater under center for the Saints.
So you're telling me they win the Super Bowl, you think they're going to walk, they're going to retire?
Well, maybe not Payton, but I'm more convinced about Brees.
You think Drew Brees is going to retire?
If he wins the Super Bowl, I think he's out. Huh. That's my theory.
So he's not going to... You know what? I could see that happening. So,
and they have a good chance. I mean, they got those games at home. There's a good shot they'll be playing in the game. Yeah, so I think that's my theory for Bridgewater. But if that doesn't end up happening and the Saints don't make it and Drew comes back for more, I could see the Giants, Jaguars, Dolphins. Those look like three possible spots for Bridgewater.
I think the Patriots will give a flyer on. I think the Patriots they need a quarterback because
that's true.
Brian Hoyer's a free agent after this year. They need a backup and they need a successor.
I was like trying to plot a place for him to start. That's why I put those three. But yes, he would make sense for you. I'm just not sure if he wants to sit anymore. That's why I was like looking for like starting places. But
no.
We'll see like what ends up happening.
I think out of all those teams you said, I think what makes sense, I think Miami makes a lot of sense.
I could see that one. I could. Because the Dolphins are always looking for, like, they have, like, some stuff set up, but they always seems like they're in flux with their quarterback. They need to find someone real. But the issue is, like, that what makes sense with Bridgewater for them is that their draft pick's not that great because they have too many wins. So I don't know what they'll exactly get unless they go up and get someone, which is also problematic. So, yeah. I'm not so sure about that, but I think Saints win the game and cover. I also will say Packers cover -8. I didn't say that before. But I also want to talk about the quarterbacks now that we're in this discussion. So what happened with Justin Herbert at Oregon? What's the news on him?
Justin Herbert decided he's going to go back. He's going to go. So, okay. So this is this is
what impacts everything here.
It does because he was definitely the number one quarterback.
Yeah, he was the consensus one for a while.
So now he's not.
He's out of the equation. You got to wait till next year for him.
Who's the guys that are there?
Okay, I have
Will Greer is my number one in my opinion.
I like Greer too. For some reason, other people aren't as high as on him, but I think over time he'll grow on them. I don't understand. He's ranked 7th on Walter Football for some reason. I was really scratching my head at that. I don't understand how they found 6 people better than him. But throw Will Greer in there. Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State. I think Locke might be the best one from Missouri, rated technically. I'm not sure if he's actually the best. No, we don't know anything yet, honestly. We haven't seen these guys throw a pass in the league.
Yeah.
And then I like Finley from NC State. I think he could be an under-the-radar pick for someone. Those
are
my favorite.
I like the kid from Duke, too.
Actually, Duke's a good one, too. He was actually rated third on Walter Football. Who's the Duke quarterback?
Let's see. It's something. Let me.
I think it's like Jones might be the last name.
I think it's David Jones. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that might be it. Yeah, I mean, Duke is a basketball school. I don't really watch their football team. Even though they did play in that bowl game, I didn't have any service.
Daniel Jones.
Okay, I got the last name right. Cool. So yeah, Daniel Jones will be in that mix as well. We'll see what ends up happening with him. So
They said he gets compared to Peyton Manning. All right, let's hold the brakes on that one. So.
Whoa. Okay, so we're getting through the snooze games, kind of, and this one might make you fall asleep, although it actually does impact you.
What is it?
Jacksonville and the Texans.
Yeah, that's a snoozer, too. So
what are your thoughts on this? This game has many implications for you with the seeding and everything. So let me know.
Okay, so with this, they're 10-5. The Patriots are 10-5. So Patriots right now with a second seed. And listen, they win this game and the Patriots somehow lose to the Jets, they go to that second seed and they get a first-round bye. So, a lot of things. We need to win the game against the Jets, and they need to lose against the Jaguars. With that being said, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Patriots are going to win. I don't think that Jacksonville is going to pull off the upset. And I'll tell you why. Basically, because of all these injuries. You have no Leonard Fournette, number one. Then the defense has taken a lot of hits. So, I will tell you this, and the receiving core for the Texans is so depleted since they lost Demaryius Thomas last week. For those of you who don't know, he tore his Achilles. He's out for the year.
Yes,
he's a free agent, and that might affect his career.
That's a big thing.
So, with this, look, DeAndre Hopkins, he's hobbled, but he's still going to play.
He's chasing Julio for that yardage record, so he wants to go get it. Yeah. But that's not going to happen, most likely.
I think I'm going to short and sweet. Blake Bortles is starting. Yuck. Okay, I'm going Texans. Right. I'm going Texans. That's all I'm going to say. Texans.
Okay, yeah. So I'm going to have to agree with Bobby. I think it's a Texans day. You're going to look for Watson to get going. You're going to look for Lamar Miller to get going. This is looks to be about a 6.5 spread. That's way too low. Texans will win by 2 touchdowns. They're going to blow the doors off Jacksonville tomorrow. Try to get that number 2 seed.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll see what happens. It's a lot of playoff implications this Sunday.
Yeah, so now we get to the last local game. This is also a snooze, but it has one relevant piece of information, maybe 2, actually. Mm-hmm. So Cowboys traveling to MetLife, to the Giants, and 9-6. They look like they have the 4 seed locked down, so I don't think there's much movement for Dallas. The Bears are in the 3 spot. They have 2 more wins, so they can't get that. They already won a division, so they can't fall back in the wild card.
No. But they're locked at number 4.
There's only one thing that's significant about this game, and that would be Mr. Odell Beckham. Mm-hmm. Bobby, what's up with Odell?
They shut down Odell, and this was expected. That quad injury, that's their that's their star receiver.
Meaningless football game.
So keep him out, get him rested, and get him ready to go. But that's another. But the thing is with him is he's been injured a lot this year, a lot the past 2 years. Last year he broke his ankle, he was out for the year, and then you have this year with his quad. So but look, they've been doing much fine without him.
Yeah,
but look, you keep him out, he's not playing, and the Giants, when you got that rookie Saquon Barkley who's averaging 125 scrimmage yards per game this season, that's 5th most scrimmage yards per game by a rookie since the merger of 1970.
Yes, that's a big thing.
So look, with this game, it's a snoozer. It's a Cowboys day. The Cowboys are locked as the number 4 seed in the NFC. Their possible wild card opponents are Seattle or Minnesota.
Yes, so that's what it looks like will happen next week in Jerry World. So I'm actually going to switch up on Bobby. I'm saying G-Man take this. Give me some Sterling Shepard. Give me some Ingram. Give me some Eli Manning. One last time, potentially. Could be his last start. Who knows what the story is with the Giants quarterback situation. Do you think this is it for Eli? Will they finally address it? Or do you think he opens next year as the starter?
Well, he's going to definitely come back. But they're going to draft a quarterback.
I would expect that as well.
And what I think is there going to be a competition? It's going to be quiet. It's not going to be announced that there's a quarterback competition. But if they draft somebody, I'll give you an example. Say, for instance, they draft Will Grier and he starts to light it up. They're going to start him.
I could see him. Yeah.
But listen,
so I think Dwayne Haskins could happen
Kyle
too.
Luletta, who I was very high on, I think I don't think he has a future in the NFL. I think he's garbage.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a thing.
No,
you're right.
So
I don't think that's true. I don't think he's anything either.
With that being said, I'm just going to go Dallas. I think they go 10-6. They're not going to want to lose to a division rival, especially the Giants when they're away. And they're going to have to try to. That defense of the Cowboys is very underrated. So,
okay, yeah. So
Cowboys.
I'm actually gonna. Yeah, so I'm gonna say G-Man, but I actually want to ask you another question before we transition to the primetime games that aren't snooze fest anymore. And here's what I have for you. So do you think that the quarterback situation with the Giants, could you see Dwayne Haskins fitting in well with them? I thought that he could possibly be a good fit. I could see him. He was a Giants fan growing up, so that would be an interesting one.
Sure,
if that happened.
Yeah, I could see him fitting in. And listen, they're linked to each other. Yeah, he's a Giants fan. He's publicly said he's a Giants fan. He wants to play for the Giants, and you know what? He brings another dynamic that Eli can't do. Eli can't run. I think he could run. And, Dwayne Haskins just brings a whole different game to them and just opens it up.
Yeah.
Eli is known for throwing interceptions and all that stuff. I think Dwayne Haskins, when he's under pressure, he's not going to throw the ball away. I think he'll run it. And I think they're going to take that into consideration. So, Dwayne Haskins to the Giants, I'm going to tell you this, with my mock draft coming up, by the way, in a few months, I'm going to link him to them. It just makes too much sense.
Okay, so we'll go to primetime. We'll stay in that division. This game is by no means a snooze fest, and it means everything. And there's a big debate behind this whole situation. Eagles, Redskins, this is huge.
Yes, it is.
Might be one of the biggest games of the day. Eagles 8-7, fighting for that last wild card spot, trying to get in. They need the Vikings to help them out. 7-point favorites against the Redskins. They'll dust them. Nick Foles, big day.
Yes.
Alshon Jeffrey, huge day. I'm going to say even Nelson Aguilar gets it going. And obviously, Zach Ertz is always there. Yeah. So those guys should get it going tomorrow for the Eagles. I think the Birds win big tomorrow in Washington.
Yeah, and listen, since Nick Foles comes in, and let me tell you something, Nick Foles just brings a whole different dynamic to a team in his Eagles team. And I'm going to tell you something, Nick Foles is undefeated as a starter in December through February when playing full games over the last 2 seasons. And he did not play a full game week 17 last year. So let me give you this. Carson Wentz, when he was the quarterback, when he started, the team averaged 22 points per game, 358 total yards per game, 261 passing yards per game, and their third down percentage was 38.2. Well, when Nick Foles is in, it's a complete different story because the points per game is 25.3. They average 386 total yards per game. Their passing yards goes up almost 30 yards, 293 passing yards per game, and their third down percentage, 43.3. So I think it's safe to say that Nick Foles has been a lucky gem for them. And let me tell you something. Tomorrow, I agree with you. The Eagles are going to win big, and they're going to get into the playoffs. And no team.
There's the hot take right there, which is going to reveal later on what's going on.
I mean, nobody is going to want to play this team, especially Nick Foles loves a man named Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey has consecutive 80-plus receiving yard games with Nick Foles in the last 2 weeks. Jeffrey has 80-plus receiving yards in consecutive games for the first time since 2016 when he was a member of the Bears.
Nice.
So, in the last 10 seasons, only 5 teams have made the playoffs after starting 4-6. Can the Eagles do that? I think so. So, they're playing the Redskins. The Redskins, who's quarterback? Josh Johnson?
Yeah.
That's all I need to hear. So, I'm going Nick Foles all day. Eagles fly, Eagles fly.
Yeah, so here I have some more stuff with Wentz and Foles because it's becoming a huge debate nationally and amongst Eagles fans. I even know that they're split amongst themselves who they want to be long-term. So, let's go with the tail of the tape here. You got Carson Wentz, who's 25 years old, and he is 25-18 in his career, it looks like, and he's 10,000 yards for Nick Foles in his career, 70 touchdowns and just 28 picks. So that's Wentz's career. Wow. Yeah, so Wentz is 70, 28, 10,000, yes. This season he's 21-7, 3,000 yards, 70% completion. and he still has a QB rating of 102. But the issue is that the team's 5-6, so Nick Foles is 3-1. So do you think that the Eagles would have been in a better position if Foles was playing all year? Do you think this team responds better than Nick Foles? What do you think is this outcry to this? Like, here's my big thing. Let's say the Eagles make the playoffs and Foles wins another playoff game or two. What do you do next year? Do you let Foles walk away, or do you commit to Carson still? I mean, what would you do?
Well, I think that they invested too much in Carson to just let him go. But Nick Foles has been nothing but a godsend to him. Listen, he's the reigning defending Super Bowl
obviously
MVP.
That's the other tail of the tape. Foles has a Super Bowl. Wentz never played in the playoffs.
Listen, they drafted this guy Wentz because they feel he's the future, and they're not going to let him go that easily. So Nick Foles, listen, they're going to have to make a tough decision, and in my opinion, they're going to stick with Wentz. They just have to. But Wentz gets hurt too much, in my opinion. So Nick Foles is about to make a lot of money this year, especially if he can win another Super Bowl. But listen, when this team does respond better when he's in at quarterback. I don't know why, but I think Nick Foles, he also doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah,
he doesn't make mistakes.
He has 32 picks in his career. Wentz has 28, but obviously we know Foles has been playing for way longer. The yardage is pretty similar too. And Foles is 25-18, Wentz is 23-17. So their numbers career are actually like more similar than you would even think probably. It's a very interesting comparison. There's a 4-year age difference, so obviously the youth advantage is with Wentz. Long term, I'm going to have to agree. It should be Carson Wentz, but if the Eagles somehow win another Super Bowl, I don't know about that. I think they might have to do something with Wentz. You can't take away a quarterback that's won 2 Super Bowls for you, can you?
No, you can't. So
but I don't think that'll happen, but who knows? The Eagles are a weird team. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yes, we will.
But I think they'll get it done tomorrow. Will they get the help they need? I guess that'll be the big debate.
Yeah, we'll see
between me and Bobby later.
We'll see what happens.
So another interesting game. Might as well just get right to it. Bears-Vikings. Vikings are a 5.5 favorite at home. They need this game to clinch the playoffs. If they lose, the Eagles are ready to take that spot. Kirk Cousins has notoriously been horrible in big games. 2 years ago, we had this exact same scenario when he was a member of the Redskins. The Giants were playing for nothing, and he still lost somehow. That was a very shocking, down-to-earth moment for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and listen, Kirk Cousins, the $84 million guaranteed man, has been nothing but, I think he's been horrendous this year. I think that's a waste of money. But I will tell you this Vikings team is not very good against teams with a winning record. And I will tell you this, the Vikings are 1-5 this year versus teams with a winning record, and they're 7-1-1 against teams with a losing record. So what does that tell you?
That's a huge difference in drop-off, obviously.
In the playoffs, you're playing teams with winning records.
Right.
So you're going to be in trouble. The Bears, this Bears defense is one of the best I've ever seen. They are just so dominant. The Bears are the first team since the 2006 Ravens with 45-plus sacks and 25-plus interceptions. So they know how to get to the quarterback and turn the ball over. That's the way to win. I'm going to tell you this right now. I will tell you the Vikings, they have become a much more team that runs the ball. Since firing former offensive coordinator John DeFilippo, the Vikings have run on 56.2% of plays, and that's third in the NFL, after running only 33% of plays in weeks 1 through 14, and that was second to last, 31st in the NFL. So
you see that mentality that Zimmer's bringing back after firing DeFilippo.
The ground and pound. So
yeah.
With this, I will tell you this. So what's success for the Vikings is to run the football, but against this defense, it's easier said than done. All in all, here's my verdict. The verdict is in, and it's going to be the Bears. And I think it's not even going to be close. I think the Bears, it's going to be ugly. They're going to pressure. They're going to pressure Kirk Cousins, and he's not. And Kirk Cousins has been pressured at least 9 times in every game in weeks 1 through 14, but has been pressured just 9 times in the past 2 weeks. That's going to go up this week, and he's going to be under pressure, especially from Khalil Mack. So he's going to be in a lot of trouble. I think that the Bears win, and the Bears are just a scary team.
Yes. Well, here's my thing. First thing before I go into this deeper, I need to ask: is there any injuries I need to be aware of for either team? I know the Vikings are relatively healthy. I think maybe Xavier.
There's no
Rhodes.
Allen Robinson. Well, let me put it to you this way: there's no Allen Robinson for offense for the Bears. And there's no Eddie Jackson, and Eddie Jackson has been huge for this Bears defense.
Well, based off that information, actually not just based off that, I'm going with the skull here. I'm saying Kirk Cousins wakes up. I think this game means more to the Vikings. I know the Bears are fighting for that second seed, but I don't really think they're fighting that hard for it. It's a risk it. I mean, like you said, Robinson, Eddie Jackson are out. Vikings will be cooking at home. Dalvin Cook will literally be cooking. He's going to have to be if the Vikings want to win. Diggs and Thielen will get it done. I think they'll bail Cousins out a little bit. I think even Rudolph could come through again. Like, not as crazy as last week, obviously, but I think he could possibly score. I think the Vikings cover this spread with 5.5. I think they get this dub 24-17, and I think they make the playoffs, sending the Eagles home.
Well, I'm just going to tell you right now that I disagree with you. I think that skull will get some points, but it's all going to come down to the Bears' defense, and the Bears' defense is going to cause a lot of turnovers. Bears all day.
Okay, so that'll be an interesting one. Maybe you'll get that game back. I gotta hope. So now you want to do Cardinals Seahawks?
Yeah. You want me to go in on this?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay. So this game, listen, this is a game where we all know how bad the Cardinals are, and Steve Wilkes is on his way out, and a lot of the players.
So that's official, like, because I've seen conflicting reports of that. Because I saw that they were gonna do it, then I saw Larry Fitz spoke up and was like, "Nah, don't do that." And then I thought maybe they were like reconsidering it. So what's the status right now? Is he definitely getting fired? You think?
Well, he's up in the air. I think if he wins this game somehow, I think that's going to be a plus. But I think all in all, I think he gets fired, and they're going to try to find
well, there was the smoke with Mike McCarthy, obviously, so you might not be too far off with that.
So with this game, it's so one-sided because the Seahawks are so underrated, and I will tell you this. Let me tell you this. Russell Wilson has a perfect passer rating. The perfect passer rating is 158.3 when targeting Tyler Lockett.
Lockett's been a beast.
Yep,
I didn't realize that good.
The only player with 60-plus targets to have a perfect passer rating when targeted since 2000. That's something to keep on. But
wow.
What are the Seahawks going to do to win this game? They're going to lean on the run. That's all they always do. The Seahawks have averaged 176.6 rushing yards per game since Week 6, and that is the most in the NFL. So, ground and pound all the way for Seahawks. That's the way they keep it going. So, playing at a high level, Russell Wilson's been doing just that with the limited pieces he has. He has the highest passer rating in the NFL since Week 5, and that's 120.6. That's something to keep up. Yep.
Yeah.
And and listen, the Seahawks have made the playoffs for the 6th time since Russell Wilson was drafted in 2012. The only team that has more than that, the Patriots.
You had
level and consistency.
You had to throw your Patriots tidbit in there. And that's a great thing for Russ that he's been doing that well.
Yes.
And he's only not made the playoffs once, which is pretty remarkable.
Seahawks
for him.
win this game.
This is Hawks chalk all day. 13.5, you lay it down, you don't think twice, you run to the bank and you play that card because the Seahawks are going to dominate at home. Like, what are the Cardinals going to do? Rosen's going to get turned over. DJ will run into some brick walls. Unfortunately, I love him, but he's been struggling a little bit. And Lockett, Russell, Carson, Baldwin, all of them will go in. And this is going to be a massacre.
Yes, I agree.
And it can lead to Steve Wilkes ultimately getting fired as well. Like you said.
I agree 100%.
So now we have another big-time matchup. Bengals and the Steelers. The Bengals are dreadful.
That's putting it mildly.
That's being nice probably. They're 6-9, which is probably better than what they have on the field now, considering the whole team's injured besides Joe Mixon. There's no Boyd. There's no AJ. There's no Dalton. There's no
Eifert.
There's no nothing. Basically. No, I think Eifert's actually coming back, believe it or not.
No.
I saw something stupid that he was going to come back. Imagine he actually is.
No, what you heard was the defensive coordinator, Steelers.
Oh, that idiot actually said that we can't cover Eifert.
Yeah,
it was like the Stephen A. Smith moment with Hunter Henry. He forgot he wasn't playing. I guess they just forget about the tight ends now because there's only a couple good ones, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what the issue is.
I'm going to go in on this game real quick. So
the
Steelers have been on an up and down year all year. So the first 10 games of the year, the Steelers were 7-2-1. They had a plus 74 point differential. They had 12 takeaways and 37 sacks. Since then, the last 5 games, they have 1 win, and that's against the New England Patriots. They're 1-4 with a negative 9-point differential, only 3 takeaways and 11 sacks. So you see where they've been plummeting. So the Steelers, they have problems closing out games. The Steelers
That's
have
putting
not
it mildly.
The Steelers have not. The Steelers have not trailed entering the fourth quarter in any of their last 5 games since Week 12. Yet they are 1-4 in that span. There's something wrong with that. So Big Ben versus bottom 5 defenses. He's 15-5 in his career versus teams in the bottom 5.
That's good for them. So
we'll see what happens. So the Steelers, they have lost 4 of the last 5 games. I think they're going to win this game, of course. Why? Because, well, on that here's an injury report. Yes, there is no Tyler Eifert. He was placed on season-ending IR with a broken ankle.
Yeah, right.
And there is no Vontaze Burfict because he suffered his 7th concussion.
I did see that, too.
And his career is in jeopardy. So the dirtiest player in the NFL might not play ever again due to concussions.
Bad karma, but
so all I'm going to say is Steelers Day.
I'm not sure if they cover the spread because 14.5 is a lot, even for like these bad teams in the division. But yeah, they'll win the game. But I'll say Bengals cover it because it's week 17. And let's get weird. So in that division, there's another huge game that actually impacts everything because this game means nothing to the Steelers if the Browns go into Baltimore and pull off the upset.
Oh, this
in my
opinion,
is everything. The Ravens are a 6-point favorite. They were in this position last year as well, and they failed against the Bengals when Dalton threw that pass, and they got that long touchdown, and the Ravens were sent home. And here we are, a full year later, in the same exact situation. Do they get it done this time?
So, with this game, I'm just going to start off with these 2 rookie quarterbacks who have looked great. So, as a starter this season, Baker Mayfield 6-6. He's averaging 273.4 offensive yards per game, 24 touchdowns, 11 picks. Pretty good. So since Lamar Jackson's taken over, boy, this team has been hot, haven't they? They are 5-1 when he starts. They average 233.5 offensive yards per game. He only has 5 passing TDs. He's thrown 3 picks, but he is a lightning ball. He is scary when you get him out of that pocket. So that's the dynamic he brings. So with this game, do I think the Ravens get it done? Yeah, but it's going to be a tough game because you see the Browns, they're the real deal. Next year, they're going to be a very good team, and they're going to get it together. But the Ravens, they're just too good. This defense of the Ravens is just too dominant. And I will tell you this, the Ravens this year, let's see here. We got points scored. The Ravens average 24.2 points per game as the Browns average 22.3.
The defense is
But the defense is the totally different story. The number 1 scoring defense in the NFL is the Baltimore Ravens. They only allow 17.5 points per game while the Browns let up 24 points per game.
That's a whole touchdown.
So,
wow.
What do I think is going to happen in this game? I'm just going to tell you. I think you're going to see Lamar Jackson run all over the place. He's very limited in who he could throw to because that receiving core, in my opinion, of the Ravens is nothing but garbage. So I will say this: the running back situation there, they're pretty set with Gus Edwards. They got Kenneth Dixon in the back.
Yeah, that's been looking a little better at least.
with Lamar Jackson, you got 2-1 because he's so dynamic. He's like a Michael Vick. I'm not going to compare him to Michael Vick because there's only one. So,
well, Michael said it himself that he sees himself in there. So I'll do it.
But Lamar Jackson,
he did it, so it's cool. You can compare him.
Listen, nobody's going to want to play Baltimore, and listen, they're going to get in. They're 10-6. Of course, they're 10-6. They're 9-6. They will become 10-6. So it's going to be the Ravens. They get this done.
Well, not so fast. I'm going for the upset. I'm going for the jugular. I'm going to try to tie it right here. I'm 4 off. This is my 4th separate pick. So, Browns Day, Baker gets that upset. And
Browns don't have their best cornerback because Denzel Ward is out. So you got to.
But that's okay because the Ravens don't throw it that much, so they can mask that. They're going to need the pass rush to collapse on Lamar Jackson. We need Myles Garrett to get cooking. A few other people that help him out. And yeah.
We'll see what happens. This is a really big game.
Yeah, I can see the Browns keeping it close. I like them to cover and win. So, let's go. Browns, get that winning record. They'd be 8-7-1. That'd be really significant after an 0-16 season. Okay, so now since we're on the Browns, Do you think if they get this win, let's say my theory comes correct, does Greg Williams stay next year?
Yes, I think he should stay.
Even if they lose,
yes.
you think he should stay?
Yes.
Well, they have played well with him. They'd be 5-3
Look,
since he took over.
Look,
Kitchens is doing a great job as the OC, which is really important. Baker likes both of them, so it makes some sense to keep it all together.
Listen, look, I think since he's taken over, they've been so much better. They're much more aggressive than they were with Hugh Jackson.
They look like they're ready to go.
Yeah,
kind
so
of.
You can't fire the guy. You got to keep him. He's done too well. You got to keep him. I think they win this game tomorrow. And they pull off this upset. Don't be surprised if you hear on Monday that he got an extension to be the head coach.
Interesting, because I still have another theory at the coaches. I could see Lincoln Riley coming from college to go coach Baker. He's been rated highly. A lot of people think he's a good candidate, and I think if he throws his name in the hat, it could be very tempting for the Browns. Because maybe could you see a scenario that this might be a little outlandish, but let's say they hire the coach Riley, and then they keep Greg Williams to be a defensive coordinator. Do you think that's plausible?
I think Greg Williams would be pretty disappointed.
But do you think that another team would hire Greg Williams? I guess that's another question.
Well, I think he's done well with I think he's done extremely well. I think he'll have a shot. Don't be surprised if he
There aren't many candidates. Like, it's not that deep, really. Like, the experience as well. I mean, I could see it. It just depends on the situation. So, yeah, I'm going to be different. I say Browns. Now, we have 2 more games with implications before the hugest big game of the night at prime time. It's the 2 AFC West teams battling. We're going to start off with the Chiefs and the Raiders. Patty Mahomes and the boys are at home. We're going to lock up that number 1 seed. And they are a 14-point favorite, and that will not be enough. The Chiefs will dominate them. They will win by 20+. Mahomes is going to be cooking. Kelsey going to be cooking. Hill. Even Damian Williams. Why not? Get them all in there. Chiefs roll at Arrowhead.
Short and sweet. Chiefs win, dominant. I agree. And to add, they signed running back Damian Williams to a 2-year extension.
That's right, they did. Good. That's a good note.
But the Chiefs' shaky defense, they allow the most total yards per game, 413.1, by a playoff team in the Super Bowl era. So that's something to watch out for.
Right.
That might be their downfall this year, but that's not going to be their downfall tomorrow. They're going to get the win.
Yeah.
And they're going to be the number 1 seed. The road to the Super Bowl goes through Arrowhead.
Yes, let's go, baby. Time to make it happen tomorrow. This is what I wanted all year. The only issue is I don't have Kareem Hunt anymore. But we'll see if the Chiefs could mask that, hopefully.
We'll see.
There's also some other news of running backs we can get to. The Steelers and James Conner. I believe Conner will be back for the Steelers this week. Is that right, brother?
Yep.
Is he ready to go?
I believe
Everything
he's going to play. For a big game like this, he's going to play.
I would think he's a great guy. I would maybe spin him in the DraftKings lineup because you know that team has to play. Like, if you're looking for the lineups, you got to look for meaningful players that are still playing because it's hard to, like, go through the backups or, like, the guys on the teams that are already out of it unless they're playing for something. Like, Julio's going for the yards, so maybe he'll be going hard the whole time, but he's also injured too, so you even got to watch with him, unfortunately. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a crazy day tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Chargers-Broncos, again, the other matchup. Chargers are traveling to Denver. They're 11-4. They're right behind the Chiefs. If the Chiefs slip up somehow, that would be a big somehow. And the Chargers will get this done. I'm pretty sure Bobby agrees. The Broncos quit on their coach, and that was clear as day when they got destroyed by the Raiders on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I agree. The Chargers are going to run all over them. And to get into this for the Broncos real fast, the Broncos are 11-20 in the Vance Joseph era.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done.
That's terrible.
And the Chargers are a 6-point favorite.
Yeah.
Take that 6 and roll with it.
And quarterback Phillip Rivers is on pace to see a new career high in passer rating, 107.7. That would also be the single season record for the Chargers. So what are we going to talk about? There's not much to talk about. Chargers all day. Melvin Gordon run all over the place.
You know the boys. The Chargers have Keenan Allen.
So they're trying.
Ty Williams, Mike Williams, even Eckler maybe.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Chargers day.
Listen. If somehow the Chiefs slip up, there's a chance that if they win this game, that they could be the number 1 seed.
Hold up a minute though. That is good, but I'm saying you were saying before how you didn't want to play the Ravens. Who the hell wants to see the Chargers as a 5 seed?
Nobody.
Who would want that?
Nobody wants
That's
to
a
see
problem.
that.
They're not a 5 seed. That's just bad luck in a good division. They could really be a 2 seed or a 3 seed at worst if you think about it.
Yeah,
that's a bad break
gonna
for the
see
4
them,
seed.
so they're going to be a sleeper team to watch out for in the playoffs.
Yeah, so and it looks like that team would be the winner of Ravens and Steelers, actually. Whoever gets that division will face the Chargers, so that could be problematic. Especially, I'm going to do a little crystal ball here for a second, because we will get playoffs next week. Is going to be huge. Things are going to be different. We're going to have it spiced up, and we're going to really go hard for the playoffs. This is big-time stuff. This was all just preparation for that. We're going to execute the playoffs, but with that, Chargers roll, like I said.
Yep, Chargers roll.
Going to happen. So we got one more game.
And I think this is the biggest game of the night.
Yes. It's going to be the Colts traveling to the Titans.
It's the battle for the AFC South.
Wild card. Texans got the wild card.
Oh, that's right.
So let me spin back my theory for a second. I just got it back. I'm saying if the Chargers play the Ravens again, the Ravens are screwed. I think that the Chargers will eat Lamar alive the second time. They'll have footage on him. They'll make their adjustments. They'll travel. And I think they will be up on the Ravens if they play again.
Yeah, so
I don't see that going well for Baltimore. I don't think they should want that rematch.
Well, no, I don't think so either. And this game is I'm looking forward to this. I'm really excited to watch this game to see who gets that last wild card spot. And I will tell you this, Andrew Luck has so much success against one team, and it's this team, because he's 10-0 in his career against them.
Oh, wow.
So, that's
I did not even know that.
That's something to watch out for. And the Colts are on a hot streak. They have won 8 of their last 9 games with a plus 101 point differential. So I'm going to ride the hot hand. I'm riding the Colts because the Colts are a scary team too, and next year they're just going to get better and better. So to end this, I will tell you right now, who's going to win that last wild card spot? It is going to be the Indianapolis Colts. You're going to see Andrew Luck pass all over the place on the second-ranked defense of the Titans. The Titans don't have their best pass rusher. Brian Orakpo, he's out. Oh, they just lost Jarrell Casey. He's out too. Who's going to try to get to the quarterback? Rashawn Evans? We'll see. So I will say this right now: the one thing the Colts got to do is stop that run, stop Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry could be a problem, but I think they get it done. It's just enough, and the Colts are going to go to the playoffs.
Yeah. So I'm agreeing with Bobby. It's the Colts' day. Andrew Luck huge, T.Y. Hilton huge, even Marlon Mack, possibly Eric Ebron. But here is a topic for discussion, and I am calling out Marcus Mariota. I am putting him on the hot seat. This is his moment. I'm going to tell you what. I'm sick of the injuries. The guy's not consistent. He's 11-8 on the year. 11 touchdown passes. Are you kidding me, dude? We're not playing Pee Wee football anymore. Like, you got to throw the ball a little bit. This is a 92 quarterback rating, conservative as can be. Completes around 69% of his passes. He is 27-28 in his career. His quarterback rating in his career is 89.4. This guy's mediocre. He hasn't gotten it done. And guess what, Marcus? If you don't get it done tomorrow, I'm done with you. I don't want any more excuses. That's it.
I agree. I think that Marcus Mariota has shown some flashes of some great things, but I think that this guy is completely too inconsistent. He
reminds me of Tannehill, honestly. It's very similar quarterbacks. And they both run a little bit too, although Mariota's a better runner, obviously.
He gets hurt way too much.
But I'm calling out Mariota. If you don't come through tomorrow at home, I know you're banged up, but if you're a franchise guy, you got to get that win, and I don't think you will, so I'm saying stock down for Mariota.
Yep, so Colts get that win, get into the playoffs, and let me tell you something, watch out for them because they're going to be a bit scary.
Yes, and then we also missed over one game, but we'll be quick. Rams 49ers, I don't think we touched on.
No, we didn't touch on them.
So it's a snooze fest. The seeds basically decided the Rams have the one-game edge over the Bears, and they should put the 49ers away even without Todd Gurley. The number's pretty big, so let me check that quick. Just for my last spread pick of the year. And 49ers, 10.5 points, are underdogs. Nah, forget. You know what? Actually, they'll cover it, I guess. Let's say they lose by 10. Screw it. So, yeah, that's it. But the main takeaways is Colts, I think, are a playoff team. I think Vikings are a playoff team. And I think Steelers are a playoff team. Those are the ones I think that'll rise up. Bobby, what are yours? Sends it just so we reiterate this.
Here's what I think. The Eagles are a playoff team. I think that the Ravens are a playoff team. And I think the Colts are a playoff team.
Okay. Brother, congrats on the great regular season, and
great
we'll be
regular
back
season.
for the playoffs.
Yes,
I'm
we
Julian
will.
Gallardi.
I'm Bobby Thompson.
That's all we have time for, G&T.
G&T, see you in a little bit.
Yep, next week. Play.